Welcome to Can I Park Here? Brought to you by FindAFashionTruck.com. Nashay and Estrell's mission is to inspire future and existing small business owners. They don't claim to be experts. They're simply trying to figure this all out, just like you.
Hello, and welcome to the Can I Park Here podcast, brought to you by StartAFashionTruck.com. My name is Nashay, and I'm here with
Estrell.
So this is our second episode to season 3. It feels like really good to be back.
Yes, it does. And as I've mentioned before, my announcement is that I am opening my own brick and mortar store. Well, not currently, but that's the plan. So I will be selling wall hangings and refurbished furniture pieces, but I decided to go the route of crowdfunding. So I have currently a GoFundMe account established to raise funds to open the store. If you feel like donating to a sister's cause, go look me up. It's Estrell Riles, ASTRALRILES. The link will be in the show.
Yeah, and we hope that you guys are having a good summer. I feel like the summer is almost over, and God, there was just so much going on. I just got back from Hawaii. The big island. Don't hate. And what I will say is no matter what you do, I think sometimes we get in this zone where all we do is work. And we forget to take a break. And so you might not necessarily want to go to Hawaii. You might not want to, travel that far because it was like a 10-hour flight. But, take some time, even if it's just one weekend driving an hour or two to go to the beach and do nothing. Just make sure that you take some time for yourself.
Absolutely.
But today we have amazing guests.
The cool thing is, Chris, he left us not a voicemail, but a voice message last year in October about his plans to start his own truck. And guess what? He's already done it, and it looks awesome. Yeah,
and what I love about what we do, because I think what people don't understand is this is not our full-time job, right? We're not making bank, right? Where we can pay our mortgages with this, or even a Happy Meal necessarily.
Wait, but that's a big jump from a Happy Meal to a mortgage, Shay. What kind of analogy was that?
I know, right? But what's amazing about doing this is the stories. This couple, decided to do this, found our podcast, listened to all the episodes, learned from other people, and then in less than a year has now launched their mobile boutique. So to us, that really warms our heart, because you don't always know how or what, you don't always know if, I guess, let me start that again. You don't always know how what you do will impact other people. And so when we hear stories like this, I don't know, it just makes us feel really good, because somebody now is following their dreams or following their passion, or just, doing something new and different because of the information that we were able to share with them. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's great to be able to inspire people.
Yeah, feels good. And right, and the thing about it is I feel like every time we do one of these podcasts, it just inspires us too, because we're like, man, we need to get on our stuff.
And see, that's the thing, is all of the people we talk to, I'm learning a lot as well, wanting to open my brick and mortar. So not only are we helping other people, but we're helping ourselves, So I just, I'm actually glad you forced me to do this over a year ago.
Like, are you talking about the podcast or
yes,
just the
podcast? When you backed me into in the corner and told me that I'm doing this or else.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So yeah, I'm glad you made me do that. But Chris, I am so glad that we were able to inspire him and give him ideas and the motivation to go ahead and start his dream. Actually, it's not just him, it's him and his wife. So hey, more props to him. He has a great truck. It looks awesome. It's hand painted.
Yeah.
Hand painted.
Yeah. I mean,
it's hot.
Yeah, it's very unique. I feel like it stands out. It's pretty cool. So I think, they are a new, like we try to have trucks that have been in business like 3 to 5 years plus to trucks that just started. And they're a truck that literally just launched. So everything is kind of fresh in their brain. So I think for people who are just starting out, you guys will really find this very helpful. And even if you're not, even if you've been in the business for a while, I think just hearing that story will just kind of inspire you too.
So to hear a little more, stay tuned.
Hello, Chris and Harneet. Welcome to the Can I Park Here podcast.
Hey.
We're really excited to have you guys on.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. It's it's a long time coming.
And it's so cool that I don't know exactly how long ago it was, but it might have been maybe a year. You left a voicemail on our Find a Fashion Truck, startafashiontruck.com website, and we played it on one of our podcasts. And it's just like, how amazing is it that now you have your own truck?
Yeah, it's I'm very organized, so it's episode 34,
Oh, okay.
On October 15th. Anyways, yeah, you guys were like one of the motivating factors too. We kind of came up with this idea in March. I usually watch like her shows with her. That's like the thing to do, when she's working, and we come at home at night, and she's basically watching like Bravo Network. I don't know if y'all watch too much TV, but yeah. So I ended up watching a show with her, and then a fashion truck was on it from LA. I think it was like JD Lux or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And we saw what they were doing. We're like, cool, that's a really cool idea. So during that year, we actually got married in August. So it is really, everything was just like coming quick. And for my job, I was always like traveling like in a car. So I would always find like podcasts to listen to and everything like that. And since that was like a peak of interest, I found you guys, and I was just like, oh my gosh, like
we can do this.
Yeah. It was just like motivating, like good information and everything like that. And I was just like, what the heck? Like, I'll leave a message. Like, you know what? After today, we're starting this thing. I even like listened back to it, and it said we were gonna start. When was it? Like early? When was our plan to start? Was it early this year?
July.
July. Well, I mean, I might have said earlier, but I mean, we just started now, and things really don't happen as you plan. Never.
Yeah, and I think that is probably what everybody will tell you when they get ready to start their truck. It'll probably only be like 2 months, 3 months, but in actuality, it ends up taking maybe double that time or maybe even longer.
Yeah, for real. It's all about like the time that you want to put into it. And and like she, like currently now, like I'm just doing this full time, and she's holding down the fort. So like I'm the housewife at home, I got the kiss the cook thing, and I'm making the food and all that. But so it was just basically like just making sure that everything had to get done, and I wanted to take the time to make sure it got done right. So now we're here.
Good for you guys. Well, can you guys, before we really get into the truck, can you all just tell the audience or the listeners a little bit about yourself and about your background?
Yeah, she can go ahead. You want to go ahead?
Yeah, I'm actually moved here from India in '96. So I'm a Sikh. I don't know if a lot of people know about what Sikhism is, but it's mostly derived from Hinduism. So I came here in middle school, did my middle and high school in Richmond. So I've been here ever since I moved in Richmond. So, it's basically, you can say I've grown up here, and I love it. And I went to college in VCU. I actually studied biology, hoping to be a doctor one day, which, it didn't work out so well.
Oh.
Well, I started off in college as a psych major. That didn't work out either.
It's so competitive, and then it's such a waste of time, I feel like. But anyways, and then now I'm actually in insurance as an underwriter. And then I met Chris a couple of years ago in retail when we were working together. And then we just got married recently last year in August. So our anniversary is coming up just in like a few days.
Oh, wow. That's exciting.
Yeah. Just a short background there.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's, so I was born and raised here in Richmond. And I'm like a first generation like Filipino, but I don't know I can't even speak the language. So I'm just like, when people say where I'm from, usually they're like, oh, where are you from? Like they're expecting something exotic or like really cool. I'm just like, no, I'm from Virginia.
Like Richmond, Virginia.
I know. It doesn't sound all that nice, but I mean, like I was born and raised here. So like my elementary, middle school, high school days, and college are all here. So like this is like what I'm very comfortable like living because all my family is here. All her family is here. They're all like in Virginia Beach or DC. So anyways, my background is mainly I did marketing at VCU. I'm a VCU alum back in like 2010, which isn't too far back. But I did marketing, and ever since that, I can't even tell you how many jobs I've had. I started like working when I was like 16, like doing some things like here and there, like Dairy Queen, and just like small odd jobs here and there. And then I ended up doing retail, doing and working at Hollister as a sales rep. I ended up doing like Best Buy and Circuit City. And then I eventually, I like closed a lot. So I went back and actually worked for Nordstrom and became an assistant manager there in the women's shoe department. And I worked in men's shoes too. So if you all need any recommendations on shoes, I know way too much about women's shoes, like for real. Like y'all probably have like a pair of Jack Rogers or, just.
Well, I have like extremely big feet, so Nordstrom is like the only store where I can actually go into it and try on shoes.
Yes,
size 13.
Oh, I know they like will cater to everyone. So I know too much about like shoes and like from Nordstrom, I ended up working at Dillard's. I was actually a children's department manager there for a little bit of time. So I actually liked just working with people, giving people really good service, and clothes too. I wouldn't really say I've been into clothes until just recently meeting her. I had my own sense of style, but she would call it preppy. so I've kind of come into my own since meeting her. But yeah, retail management and retail. And my last job I had was basically sales. I was a territory manager working for a pet food company. And like I said, I just traveled a lot. And stores going to North Carolina. Roanoke is about a 3-hour drive, so I would actually go to Roanoke and back day in a car. So when I say like I'm listening to your podcast, like I probably listened to like a lot of episodes in one day. So
you definitely did.
Yeah. So I mean that's pretty much it. And then I decided to leave to leave and pursue this full time, and then we'll just play it by ear. I mean, everything starts with an idea, and we just thought, this was the idea to go forward with, and there it goes.
But okay, so was it scary to say, okay, I'm gonna leave my job, my stable, job to do something risky like this?
Yeah, hell yeah. I mean, it scared the living bejesus out of me. Basically, like I said, so for me, I'm the type of organized, and I like to plan everything. And from my standpoint, I was like, I have all these things to do, and obviously working in the Christmas season, I would only have time to do this business thing. The end of last year, part time, after working and all that, and then it was just well, you know what, we got to go to this show in February. And I was like, you know what? It'd be a perfect timing to pursue it full time, and then we'll just reconvene then. Whatever happens, happens for a reason, and we'll just take it.
And then how did you determine? So of course, even from listening to the podcast, there are so many different types of boutiques. So how did you guys determine what type of boutique you all wanted to start up?
Okay, so I'm going to let her answer this because she's the fashionista. I'm the one who, can kind of buy for the men, but I'm more into the branding, and I can help people dress a little bit. She gives me the tips and everything. But how did we decide really? It was just basically something for everybody.
Yeah, we definitely wanted to, usually what we see is everybody's carrying something for women only. And we decided that we definitely wanted a whole family package. So we wanted to do women's, men's, and then finally we're also going to carry kids soon. And then we're all about carrying trendy clothes, but also keeping in mind that we carry clothes for every season, something that is going to last you forever, that you don't have to throw out maybe every year, or it's not going to work for you. And I'm big on picking the right material. That was our number one thing as well.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Yeah, just a lot of things in mind, quality and something for everyone, style, everything, just keeping a lot of things in mind. I mean, I don't know if I can just describe everything right. It's hard. But
that's a great concept, though.
Our big thing was to do a family thing where if you do events, or if you're going to festivals, or if you're parked somewhere where if a mother's coming, if somebody's coming up on our truck, we're able to provide for everyone. If she can pick something for herself, her husband, and for her kids, so.
Yeah, like she was saying, and what you were about to say, I think it was mainly what would cater best towards audiences in any setting. Right, so the thing is at what depending on the price ranges, of course, and where we go and who we decide to partner with, I think it's my belief was if you only do women's, you're cutting off 50% of the population. I don't know what the real percentages are, right. But I mean, women, you know what I mean? Men, as a men mindset, they will get anything their women tells them to get, and I can tell you that truthfully. So, I mean, if someone says something is nice in the truck, they'll buy it for their man friend or their husband, So, and then just catering towards families in general. So, like I said, I mean, there's not enough space on the truck, I wish it seems sometimes, but that's why we do plan on carrying kids soon. We want to be very open to all the trends and different types of things.
Yeah, and even if it's not enough space on the truck, when you go to events, you can always set up outside as well. So maybe you could have the men's and women's inside and the kids outside, or, just something to have people in and out at the same time.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, we ended up getting some four ways, some fixtures. That's what they're called technically in retail. Like outside the truck that we can just have. And it's my fault really, because I technically, when I'm setting up, I usually just put out the women's stuff, and I'm just oh, well, I got to put out the men's too, I can't assume that everyone's just gonna, get the women's stuff. So yeah, no, I totally believe in that. We're setting up for a festival in the next couple of weeks, and it's freaking me out So just trying to get prepared, just trying to get everything that we need.
Is this your first one?
This will be our first one, and they're expecting about 100,000 plus people. So,
my God!
Whoa!
Yeah, it's called the Carytown Watermelon Festival. So, it's been like this recurring thing. I think they're in like their 20th plus time. Yeah, and I was very fortunate, for us to get in. So I'm trying my best right now to keep it easy.
What's it called?
Yeah, it's called the Carytown Watermelon Festival. And they're practically catering to like the whole family, and it's like a free event for everyone. Like that's on one street where all the boutiques and shops are and everything. Yeah, restaurants, everything. So, I'm gonna get like flyers printed out and just start handing them out and telling them what we do, and hopefully that'll be some good exposure for us.
Now, like, when you guys first started, like you decided that you wanted to do this, you listened to some of the podcast episodes. How did you know what to do first? Like you said, you're very organized. So did you start first by, for example, thinking of a name and looking for, setting up your social media sites? Or did you start first with just looking for trucks or looking for the type of clothes that you were going to buy? Tell us a little bit about kind of your process. Like what did you do first, to the last thing you did, and how are you able to stay on track?
Yeah, I got it. I wish I wrote things down. I can't really tell. I'm like very like OCD and ADD per se. Like I really should see somebody because I might be diagnosed with it. But I usually like to put in like positive ways. For me personally, like, I guess sometimes I go back and forth way too much, and I should stay on track. But for me, I think it's very mumbled. When I think about it, I don't know what came first, whether it was us finding a truck or whether it was us thinking of the name. But either one, those were like our main thing that we wanted to get to first because we needed a truck. I definitely wanted a step van. I think a box truck was a little impersonal at first. And then, I've seen a lot of things with like RVs and everything. I just thought a step van was a really good concept because people usually see it. So, in terms of like UPS and all that and FedEx. So if they see it, then somehow like people may be more comfortable, with the fact that, people are shopping inside, and that's what the main thing food trucks are out of now. But anyways, so finding a truck was definitely like one of the main things. And gosh, I already want to jump to like the name, but let me just continue with the truck. We ended up getting a truck from Monica. She was actually a fashion truck owner herself in Charlotte, North Carolina. And we ended up meeting her. We actually drove down. It was like 4 hours or so. And we met with her. And they were just going through life transitioning. They wanted to start a family. So I think they bought the truck in Texas. And she had a business partner in Florida. And then she and her husband moved to Charlotte for his job, or I'm not sure what it was, but it just came out to good timing because we were looking on Craigslist, and we just ended up looking, and we ended up contacting her. We went in to see it, and we were just like, you know what, it looks nice. So the truck, we ended up getting the truck, and then in terms of the name, oh man, that was crazy. I think I just like literally went on dictionary.com and like thesource.com and I was just like thinking of like names and like everything that could be encompassed in clothing. And the thing was, like, for me, like in terms of being organized, I wasn't even just thinking of the name. I was thinking of like something larger. Like what if, like, I want this name to be encompassed, like, around, like, what if we actually did well in this truck and we did start a brick and mortar? Or, like, what if we did online and it started getting, like, through the whole U.S.? So then I was even, like, looking on the, like, United States Patent and Trademark Office, trying to, like, figure out what names we can get and what hasn't been taken. So, like...
His OCD definitely kicked in because that took a long time to figure all that out.
But he did good, though. That's probably the right way to go.
Yeah, I'm in support of him because all of this, I mean, he's put 90% of the work and I'm just here, you know, with my little work that I've put in.
Well, all right, so I'm just going to interject. Like, even though she says the little work, I swear on my life, like, if we didn't have her as like the buyer of the company and her like choosing which direction the clothing will go, then like we technically have like a store with nothing inside. Because we just buy for the men.
Merchandise.
Yeah, and we have a name, textures. Yes, everything can be pretty much textured. Textures, we can just be like, you know what? I'll just start an ice cream truck called Textures. You know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah, so then that's where it came up with like the truck and then the name being first priority. So, I mean, that's that. That was like the number one thing. And even though it took me like a couple weeks to like a couple months, I'm glad where it turned out now.
But taking the time to do that is awesome. And you have to think about like people who rush into stuff. They choose names, and then months after their business is started, they find out that it's like 2, 3, 4, 5 people with the same name. So what are you going to do then? Your brand is built around your name. You can't change it.
No, and that's the hardest thing. It took a long while. We had like a spreadsheet document of like all these names, and we were like narrowing down, and we asked friends like, what did they think? And I even got some consulting from like a lawyer, and then we were just trying to figure out like what could best be done in terms of like an online presence as well as a mobile presence, or even a brick and mortar store too. So I'm all about like thinking for the future, and you know, just mainly, and just mainly thinking like, oh, what if it does turn out like this? Because obviously you don't go into business thinking it's going to fail. So you want to go into it thinking like head on, like, you know what, we're going to build this thing and, just go from there.
And so you have the name, you have the truck, you guys are starting to think about like what to purchase in the truck. One thing that of course caught our eye is when you posted the pictures of the truck in the private Facebook group. Let's talk about fashion trucks. So, did you guys hire someone locally to come up with your logo? And, can you tell us a little bit about even, the designs on your truck?
Yeah, sure. So Richmond itself is a very like artsy city. VCU, where we both graduated, is like the top art school in the nation, public art school in the nation, and it's like it's either like number 1 or 2 for sure. And I think it was like the Huffington Post or something that posted Richmond as being like one of the top mural and art cities in the nation, and that's where it came together, like, and clicked for me. And us actually, to where, you know what, like not just being artsy or anything like that, but art is an expression and so is clothes. So that's where we were like, you know what, let's meld these two. And we decided to get someone local, and we had a good connection. And his pieces that we saw on his online as well as murals. I mean, he paints buildings. Like with spray cans and with his brush, and we were just really amazed at what he can do. Wow. And his installs. So, I mean, we both came to a conclusion that it was really good for both of us. And instead of just getting something like a static wrap, I mean, no offense to anyone doing it. I mean, I completely understand, the price range for everything. So I think it was just what we were thinking with our name as well. So when we were thinking of textures, we think of patterns, we think of feeling everything. So we were just like, wow, this would pretty go well. And we ended up brainstorming between the two. And he had an install painting that really had a lot of patterns and everything. And we were just like, you know what, let's have something that has something to do with clothes, like patterns on clothing. And he was like, got it. And I mean, from my mindset, art is interpreted in any way, and for me, I interpret it as like fabrics just coming together. And when you look at our truck, it's 3D, and it's like just fabrics being all folded and everything being come together. So yeah, I mean, we went with him, and he turned out really good for us, and I'm really glad he was able to do it.
Now, in regards to the wrap, did you end up spending more money for the custom work versus what the wrap would have cost?
In all honesty, I would say going through the price ranges of everything, it was probably the same. Usually, if not a little more, but I mean, wraps usually cost, depending on the quality and like everything that you want to get done. Not just wraps, but we were just thinking of like painting it ourselves, and we were just like, you know what, this would be a good thing, probably for the future too, with getting exposure that we're from Richmond. That with this art install and a mobile mural type of thing. So yeah, I mean, our wraps usually cost, I guess, between 3 to 5 or so, or maybe even more. And I wouldn't even say we spent even over that. for the install for the truck.
And then also, I noticed like, I was just taking a look again at like your website, and I like that you guys took like professional photos for your like products, because I think a mistake sometimes new companies do is like have photos that are a little blurry, or they're cut off, or they're just not quite right. But looking at your photos, I'm assuming you hired a photographer, or you're either really good at photography. When did you guys kind of do that? Was it like a couple of months before like the, official launch date? And what made you decide to get like professional photos?
Yeah. All right. So I'm sorry. Like I keep answering everything, but like this is like
you did most of the work, so obviously.
Yeah. Well,
Harneet is like, go ahead.
Just here to support you.
Yeah. Basically, all right. So I would say on the website, about half, or you know what, maybe a little less now because I have taken a lot. So at the very first when we started, we actually hired an intern, and he was really great for us. He actually did some of the photos for us, and actually learned a little bit from him watching him. And it basically, so we came up with the idea for everything with the logos and the truck and everything. We bought the truck in like November, and then I ended up getting a pro camera in January and started reading books on it and watching like YouTube videos. So all the photos on the products are me doing it, with me editing it myself on Lightroom, which I had no idea how to use until, I just tried to do it. And then some of the home pages was a buddy of ours who helped us out with the photography. But even so, on the slideshow panels on our website too, that was me as well. So it was just basically like a learning curve and just trying to figure out how to take the photos and everything. And yeah, you are right in terms of all the photos. It kind of a turn off sometimes if it's like, if it's a stock photo and everything like that. All the photos are done either by our friends or people that we've met in Richmond, just, reaching out, honestly. So that's why we believe in like the local thing, and that's what our business model is about. So I wanted to feature not just models, but real people. So.
No, I think it turned out great. I mean, of course, we'll include a link to your website in the show notes, but I encourage people to check it out because usually that's like the first advice that sometimes we'll give people that, ask us for our opinion on their website is like, you gotta kind of step it up with the photos. And even if you don't hire a photographer, just kind of learn like some basic tips and tricks. Always use, natural light, find some photo editing software that works for you, and just those little things could really like draw people in, and it just does, I feel like, so much for a new business. It makes a new business look like they've been in business for a lot longer, Yeah.
I totally agree. And the thing was, I would say instead of hiring a professional photographer, I would use that money towards just buying a nice camera, because you're basically buying it, not only for the business, but for yourself too. I mean, if you go on vacations or anything like that, you have it for yourself.
It's an investment.
I'm learning it. Chris really did. He would stay up basically all night just learning ins and outs of just the camera and how to fix a photo. I mean, he really did spend a lot of time on it.
Yeah, like a good investment for anybody. I mean, I swear, I think I spent about $200. And there's an Instagram photo of our setup kind of in our house where we do our clothing photos. And literally, like I said, we spent like $200 on like the background, the lights, and then obviously the camera itself was the biggest investment. But once you like learn it, and like, I'm a visual person, so I did use like YouTube a lot. Of people just like, there's a ton of them just like showing how to work it and everything. It's just, trial and error and everything like that. And, it did take like probably like a good month, but after we got our clothes, we started taking pictures in our studio. I can't believe I'm calling it a studio.
It is like a studio. We do have a studio.
It's our dining room-ish studio. Yeah. So yeah, that literally takes up like a whole room at our house. So yeah, I was just like, wondering. I was like, our friend or like your family's gonna want to take photos too. I was like, maybe that's like a side business thing too. But anyways, yeah. So it was just like a learning curve, and I would really say for anyone starting their own, basically just spend the money on it yourself, because I mean, who knows? I mean, it's a hobby too, and the thing is, everyone's visual nowadays with Instagram and like Facebook and everything like that. I mean, you want to see something before you buy it. So good editing software. I mean, I use Adobe, even though it's like, I think I spent like 19 a month. It's a very good investment, because with the amount of photos that you take inside and out, I mean, you can edit them. And honestly, the editing won't even take all that long. I would say for any user, the learning curve will probably be just a couple days. Even just using a professional camera on its auto setting, and just trying it out and trying it in different light. So just doing that will actually help you a lot with your photos. And once you get the hang of it, editing photos itself will take no more than like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's a really good investment.
So what are you guys doing now as far as like, you got the truck up and running, but just to market yourself? So I think it's awesome that you guys are already going to do this gigantic event, because that's a pretty big event for the, like for one of your first events. But have you guys contacted like any news agencies, or are you all like partnering with anyone, or do you all have kind of like what your marketing plan will be for this summer set up yet?
Yeah, so our main goal was to actually open up at the beginning of the year. And like I said, nothing gets planned out, and nothing gets, planned out as what you want it to be. So I was hoping to get open up by like springtime, but it's already like middle of the summer, and we have all these, summer clothes. I mean, I wouldn't say summer. I mean, it transitions well in the fall and everything too. But basically the goal, not only is the goal to get exposure, but I think one of the main things is we actually kind of partnered with another fashion truck. Her name's Claudia. She runs Claville Fashion Truck, and she's been doing it for like over a year in Richmond, and she does women's. And the thing is like, even though we carry women's too, I really feel like it's about collaborating and partnering not only with local businesses, but with like the whole scene in general, because I feel like that's what's going to bring up the exposure for everyone else. So I spoke with her before we even started just to get her opinion. And when I did the shout out on Facebook to like Stacy with AMRA, I got their opinions on this too. And honestly, she was all for it in terms of Claudia just being like, you should start it. And then, so we had the support from her ever since. And we kind of stayed silent for like 6 months. I wouldn't stay silent. I would just say like, maybe it's just because I was just working. So I just didn't. I was like in the zone, like just trying to get all these things done. So yeah, we technically partner with her every Friday, and we're at Whole Foods every Friday for like a fashion truck Friday type of scene. And our goal is to, we really believed, and being in retail for so long, I really believed in the experience that you get when you're at the mall. Like you just want to go there to hang out, and sometimes you're bored, you just want to just have some fun. And if B, you go and shop, and if you don't buy anything, you don't buy anything. But the thing is, like, you have a good feeling when you're shopping. So like our motto is happiness through fashion. So the thing is when people are visiting our truck, we want people to feel the happiness they have, like when they're out and about experiencing everything. So we're down, partnering with mobile food trucks, because I feel like why don't we just have like a mobile shopping experience where people can eat and shop at the same time. You know what I mean? Like I feel like our truck is a getaway per se of like the daily grind. So maybe, reach out to corporate businesses out there and be like, hey, you know what? Like let your employees get off some steam. They can hang out at our truck. We'll have some seating outside. They can just chill out. They can buy stuff if we want. They can talk. They can hang out, whatever they want. And not only that, I mean, I think like the scene, there's a big opportunity, I feel like, in nightlife too. Obviously, I'm going to have to look into the laws, but when people are like socializing and everything in terms of like happy hour outings or breweries or just like hanging out after work. I feel like that's a great opportunity for a truck to be as well. So, that's what kind of like our marketing kind of is right now, is we just want to partner wherever we feel like, it feels right. And wherever it feels like it could be fun. And, obviously private events and parties is something that we want to do. But we think sky's the limit. And that's the reason why we went to a mobile type of atmosphere, because we want to be like a chameleon and, change colors to whatever we want to be. Honestly, yeah. I mean, it sounds like cliche-ish, but the thing is like, you know what I mean? If you want us to be there, then we'll be there.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and we've heard that, I feel like, before too, right? I feel like, you can't just do this one thing, you need different ways to get income, multiple streams of income. So, by, selling online, selling at private parties, selling at Whole Foods, doing the large events, partnering with other, mobile businesses. Like you have to have, I feel like almost like 5 to 10 things that you're doing in order to bring in those, multiple streams of revenue.
Yeah. And as an addition, like I know I completely forgot about talking about like the exposure thing, because I mean, my mind's always racing, but like exposure wise, I mean, yeah, I definitely want to reach out to media and everything there, because I really do feel like we're doing something like special in terms of, not only providing just like, oh, you're providing clothes in the truck, but I mean, I feel like it's about the experience. So, I mean, I'm trying to reach out right now currently to anybody who just wants to put us out there and be like, you know what, like we're here, and if you have an idea, we'll find a way to partner with you. You know what I mean? I mean, yeah. I mean, if it's like some breweries who have merchandise on their truck, and and even though they're not as trendy as it can be, we're probably giving exposure back to them. If we do put like local things in our truck, because we do want to say that we are local from Richmond, and that when people see us at festivals, we're going to be like, hey, I'm proud to say that we're from Richmond, and you should check out our city because it's pretty sweet. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm trying to work for exposure now. Like, I mean, that's my biggest thing. I think press is the first thing. And then, well, actually at the same time, it's like, getting events scheduled. So I'm trying to ramp it up in the next couple of weeks, because we did kind of like a shopping friends and family party. And just to like, hey, here's our launch. This is what we're doing. Get the name out there. And now we're going to just go downhill in terms of like, we're just going to keep going. We're going to keep going. Not like downhill. It's over.
I know.
Yeah. No, it's not an uphill battle. It's not hard. We're going downhill. It's momentum. You know what I mean?
So you're going kind of faster to get where you're going.
Yeah. So we just want to make sure it turned out right, and we just go from there.
Do you have any advice for future small business owners?
Oh man, I don't know where to start. Really? Okay.
One or two key things that like you would recommend like above no other.
Okay. All right. Maybe you should provide one and I'll provide one. I will say
with you, what I saw was I think it was more so have patience with the whole process. Definitely.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. There were many times throughout where we've kind of like argued with like, all right, I need to meet this deadline. Like this needs to happen like right now. And we had to just move things back. And patience is one thing that like, you know what I mean? Like I really felt like I'm a realist too, kind of. And I would say like as a side note that, you know what, I know we have this website, but I believe that we're probably not going to get a sale for the first month. So I'm just trying to be a realist of like how hard it is to do an online business. So, that's why we did a mobile. So, I mean, people could see what we're selling, and people can, feel and touch and everything that we're doing. But so patience is one thing. And I would just say maybe, I know this is very broad, but like just be like, be confident and I don't even know what to say. Be like self-confident in yourself to the point that, you know what I mean? If you have an idea, you should go with it without any repercussions. Just because like we jumped out, it's like we just jumped off the ship and like we're about to get eaten by sharks. But I think it's like every day is like we're swimming away. And oh my God, I'm actually getting decent at these metaphors. but yeah, that's, well, I don't know. I mean, but the thing is like that's what I feel like it is. And you just need to jump. And if you don't jump, then nothing's going to happen. So if you have an idea, like I'm trying to be really motivating here, but like just do it. And you know, get, like you were saying too on Facebook, like it does take like a village. It takes a family. It takes friends. It's not all done by us two. I mean, my cousin helped out with the website. We had a contractor who was a connection, and he was really cool and tried working with us. I mean, he'd never worked on like a mobile thing before, so he only worked on houses. You know, obviously I got help at the beginning with the photography. For the interior design of our truck, we ended up getting help. Like we tried reaching out to a local interior design company, and we were just like, well, can't really afford that right now. So I'm going to have to find an alternative. And you know what? We are both alma maters from VCU. So why don't we go to VCU and find some students who want to get their portfolio you know, expanded more. So we're just like, you know what? You help us, we'll help you, helps everyone else. So I got help with interior design. There was friends of hers that, you know, gave us some advice into some of the clothing, because you know what? I mean, we keep hearing it from the get-go, from the podcast, that if you get like, you know, if you get clothes, you need something that's not only you, but something that can cater towards everybody. So we mainly got help from everyone. I mean, there was times where my parents were helping me, like, you know, I wouldn't say just steam, like the smallest things, like helping us wash the truck and, you know, taking off the vinyl off the side, because we did get it from another fashion truck owner. So that was, oh my gosh, that took a while. Like that was trial and error.
It's like removing wallpaper.
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy. Of like, we had to get like acetone. I had no idea how to take off like sticker residue. So we tried like Goo Gone, and then we tried acetone, and acetone was the way to go. And that took days to take off like off like the whole truck. So, you know, like it takes a while. So, you know, I mean, just believe in your vision. And trust me, there are days where I am in doubt too. But like I said, I mean, we wouldn't have started a business if we didn't think that we were going to succeed at it. And we're also thinking like, you know what I mean? If you think somebody else can do it, then you can too. Type of mindset. And, you know, obviously mindset is everything. I mean, I think way too much, and I really think like about the repercussions every day. Like, oh my gosh, like, oh my God, they're going to say no, and you know, they're not going to want us to park there, and oh my gosh, like the laws aren't working with us. We're going to get arrested. We're going to go to jail. Like,
Trust me, I go through this every day with them.
yeah, I'm really like, I really think of like everything, and yeah, she's. Yeah. So,
but the thing is, you did it. That's, you know, because even sometimes when people, you know, think of all those different things or all the things that could go wrong, that prevents them from even starting. But the nice thing
that would be me.
Yeah, it would. But the nice thing is, you were like, you know what? I don't know exactly what's going to happen, but you guys were like, but we're going to do this. We'll do it together, and we'll just see what happens. Which is
it's
cool.
Tough. It's like being courageous is hard. And I wouldn't say we're like the courageous ones, like, oh, you know what, let's start this retail business and, you know, let's kick some butt and like make the tons of money and like help all these people and, you know, show our vision of like, you know, trends for everything. But no, it's just mainly like just double downing on your strengths and just believing in yourself. And I doubt myself all the time, but like my support system and my wife, it just, you know, just keeps pushing us on. And that's with any business. She's got a family who, you know, who's very entrepreneurial, and, you know, they've been very supportive too of just, you know, just try it. You know what I mean? Like you only got one life to live type of thing. Like just think bigger picture. Yeah. Like if you don't do it, you're going to regret it someday. To a certain extent. Like, you know what I mean? You're going to be like, well, I wish I did this back then. I wish I did all that. No, just try it. If it doesn't work, you know what I mean? Like if we're not making money, I mean, if we need money, I mean, I'm going to, you know, drive up to DC and start doing Uber driving, you know, to make money.
I know, right?
I mean, so, I mean, it's like one step after the other is mainly my best thing that I can say to anyone.
Yeah, I think that's amazing advice.
Now, even though you're a planner, is there anything that you did that you wish you could do over? Like, was there any mistakes made?
I don't know. what do you think?
I don't know. I can't really.
I mean, mistakes wise, I mean, maybe like small things like, oh, well, the stairs are heavy and bulky. And, like how in the world is someone going to, carry this thing around if I'm not there? So I think it's like, just the small things with the business. Like, when I'm at home, I'm the one tagging all the items. Like, I think way too much. Like I think of like, what? We need a barcode scanner. What? We need to make UPC codes for our items. Like, I want to make it look as legit as possible and have the most, like the most legit business on wheels. Like, if they're actually walking in our truck, they're walking into a real store. Like, people are getting a concept and a snapshot of what we were doing if we actually did make a real store. So, I mean, like I said, small things here and there. I mean, obviously there's things to improve on like the website as we go. The logo I'm happy with. We end up doing that through 99 Designs. I think I've heard a lot of other people doing that as well. I think that was a really good idea, just crowdsourcing to get multiple designers and trying to get your vision in. So, I mean, that's basically it. I mean, you could just improve on everything every day. So, obviously, I think I need to improve on social media. I mean, I want to go to the point where I'm posting every single day. But I mean, it's kind of hard. But I mean, obviously, when you think about it, if all these other larger companies can do it, why can't we do it? Obviously, it'll take time. Right. But I just think, there's just a lot of things to improve on. So.
Yeah. And I feel like it's just coming up with your system. And then once you get a system on, having images ready ahead of time, doing like scheduling, like once you get that down, it won't be, too bad.
I
struggle with
agree
that a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, the system thing is I'm not really good at system, but yeah, we need that. We really need a system process in terms of like the way I do things and what needs to get done on a day-to-day basis. So yeah, I need to start improving myself on that. But yeah, I totally believe you.
Well, cool. Well, we just have, of course, you listened to the podcast, so we have a few wrap-up questions for both of you, just to allow the listeners to get to know you personally a little bit better. So do you have a favorite podcast, blog, book, or TV show? And if so, what is it?
Honestly, usually I go to work and after that I go to the gym. So what little time I have, I just watch my reality TV. And that's like my relaxing time. So he listens to a lot more podcasts than I do. So he can probably give you a better answer.
Yeah. I mean, shows. Yeah. What eventually she watches, like, we only got one TV downstairs, so I'm kind of watching too.
I think most people have one TV downstairs.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, that, whatever you're watching, I'm not forced to watch, but it is kind of amusing. So the drama of other people's lives actually, help us with our own. So I mean, for me, I would say what has been a motivating factor through everything is a podcast called Ask Gary V. He started his own wine business. And he's all about like the hustle, and he does this like daily V thing where he has this guy following him around all day, and it's basically edited to the point where you see him waking up at 4 a.m., going into meetings all day, into the lunchtime, into the afternoon, into the evening, and him going back home, and it's like basically an 18-hour workday. And he's like 40-some years old. He eventually wants to buy the New York Jets. And, he started, being an immigrant. I mean, he basically started from nowhere, and his dad gave him the reins to make this multi-million-dollar business out of a wine company, and he started doing it online and YouTube. So his belief is really instilled in me to where I believe that your company, first and foremost, should be a media company because that's where we are in the current system nowadays. And even though like I did reserve all our names on like YouTube and Snapchat, I really need to get on it more and just do it because that's where the younger generation is and that's where it's going to be. And that's where everybody is now, Facebook and everything. So yeah, I'm being a media company first and foremost. And he really instills that in everyone and just being a motivator. But so I just listen to him, honestly.
No, he's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of forgot.
And I know he's really huge on Snapchat too, and he always tells people like, "You got to get on Snapchat. You need to get on Snapchat." I'm like, I don't know how he functions. I couldn't function off of 4 or 5 hours of sleep a night. I would crash at some point.
Yeah, and he's got kids too. Like, I give like the total respect to the people who are not only like doing their business, but like who are taking care of a family. I mean, that's a load of respect there. I mean, to do all that. So yeah. I mean, he was just, he's just really good to listen to.
And then, so if you guys could have any celebrity, entertainer, model, athlete, whoever you want, visit your mobile boutique, who would it be?
I mean, you're looking at me, but I mean, she's probably going to say the Kardashians. So
What?
okay, well, that's a good answer.
Just because, I admire what she's done with her company. Of course, I love her style, and what she stands for. So,
but yeah, honest company, she really believes.
Yeah,
and I tell you, all she has to do is give you guys one little tweet.
Right?
You guys would be awesome.
You know what? I'm going to say the Kardashians for my answer, because all they have to do is just touch something and it's gold. So they're welcome to come to our truck. So.
And then, what do you like to do in your free time to wind down and de-stress?
Oh my gosh, we haven't done that in I don't know how long.
Yeah, our anniversary is like on Monday, so we are actually not going to think of anything and just relax. But I mean, I stay up late. I like to read a lot of news for some odd reason, because I like to know a lot of things. So I just Yahoo News, like, Pokemon Go. Yeah.
Oh, he's yeah. He never he hasn't worked out in over, I want to say 5 or 6 months, but all of a sudden now he's going out for walks and workouts because he's
the Pokemon.
Yeah.
Hey man, it's working. I'm telling you. So.
Well, it's so funny because my next question is Android or iPhone, and what's your favorite app? So I guess I have your favorite app.
Yeah, that's my favorite app right now. Like, I need to get more time in my Pokemon Go. Yeah, do you have a favorite app? What is yours?
Not really.
She's on Facebook right now, so that's probably her.
I use Instagram a lot.
I know, IG is an addiction.
Yeah, we're I'm on a MacBook right now, and we're both iPhone users, and our register is an iPad. So yeah, that's where our allegiance stands.
What would you attempt to do if you knew you could not fail?
Oh man, I listened to y'all's podcast before, and I still can't answer this question. Go ahead. I don't even know what to say for this. This is tough.
What would you attempt to do if you couldn't fail?
If you knew you couldn't fail, yeah.
Right. And it could be anything. It doesn't necessarily have to be related.
Don't say this business. That's like a cop-out. Don't say that. What are you going to say?
I don't know. Honestly, with me, it's very difficult because I kind of live at the moment. I'm very different than Chris. He likes to think about the future, and I'm more so like, I'm going to live my life for today. I'm not going to think about tomorrow. So we're very different in that way. So I honestly, I don't know how to answer that.
I'm going to say
you're just living life, like you would attempt to do anything as of right now, which is,
you have
awesome.
to make what you're doing the best for now. So, and that's what I believe in. But I don't know.
I mean, for me, it'd probably be just speaking in front of people. I was, for some odd reason, I was just like freaking out about this podcast. I was like, what am I going to say? What are they going to ask me? Let me prepare. So I have like in big bold letters, like on my.
I really was trying to calm him down through it, but.
Ever since I was like a kid, like I suck at public speaking. So like, if I could just like, I hate politicians, like I just they make my blood boil. But I would say maybe I'd be one just so I could speak in front of people and just be like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, cheer me on. So I don't know, who knows? I mean, just speaking in front of tens of thousands of people. I guess being on TV, like if I was like marketing as like an advertising for our TV, like, and someone asked me that I had to do it to be on TV, I guess I would have to, and just suck it up and just throw up afterward. So.
Right, exactly. Sometimes you just got to push through it.
And
after you do it the first time, the second time will get easier.
Yeah, totally.
And then where can people find you? Like your website and social media handles.
Yeah, so we're at Textures Trend with an S on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, YouTube, every platform. We mainly do Facebook and Instagram right now, but that's on me. So we need to be on all of them. So, but yeah, you can find us there and texturstrend.com, obviously.
Perfect. Well, just want to say thank you. We think your truck is awesome. We wish you guys lots of success. And just know, I know this podcast is going to be inspirational for other people, which is pretty cool. So you're going to start, motivate someone else to start their own business. So thanks again for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that episode. If you all heard barking in the back, it was Estrell's new puppy.
Yes, I have a golden doodle. He is so lovable.
And loud.
Yeah, he's still barking right now.
I got an old dog. He just snoring in the background. But I mean, I just want to pull out a couple of things that Chris and Harneet talked about. I think they're just like so much fun. And I love how like they are total opposites, right? Which is great. It kind of reminds me of me and my husband Sam because we're like complete opposites too. But I love, it seems like he has like tons and tons of energy, and she's like the calm one that's like, okay, this is all right. This is what we're gonna do next, But Chris, we talked a lot about like photography, and I'm telling you folks, we have an episode. I forgot what number it was. I should have looked it up before I started talking, but it's like in the first 10 episodes where we interview a photographer and a good friend of ours, Lakay Umba, and she gives photography tips. Go back definitely to listen to that. But
episode number 2.
Perfect. Oh yeah, it was one of the very first ones. So guys, there we go. Like we're on episode like 50 something. So that's my brain is old. I have those senior moments. But photography is so key. I can't tell you how important it is with things like Instagram and Pinterest blowing up and being kind of like some of the top social media sites. Like it's clear that photographs are really important. They're what's being shared, that they're what people relate to. So definitely, learn how to shoot your own photography. I think for some things it makes sense to definitely get a professional photographer because there are some things that you just probably won't be able to do unless you really master photography. But for like, those shots that you need for IG or maybe even some of the product shots, buy an SLR, go on YouTube and learn. There's, that's free. You could also go to places like Skillshare.com and learn photography tips for your DSLR. Learn how to use natural light. Go to Amazon and maybe buy like some kits, like some light kits, kind of like what he explained. And you can see an example on his, on their, Instagram account. But it is really important. And another thing that he hit on was it takes a village, and it really does. But what I do want to say to that is not everybody has a village, okay? And sometimes it's just you.
And sometimes you just have that one friend that you depend on for everything and expect them to do it. Yes, I'm talking about you. You are my village.
Village of one?
Yes.
Her slave. But I mean, it's nice when you have like a group of people that you can depend on. And, that village doesn't have to be a ton of people. That village doesn't always have to be family. Everybody's situation is different. Like sometimes your village could be just 2 people that believe in you and want to help you. But, having those people, you be it 2 or 20, to get you through it, networking with other, even strangers, to help you get stuff done. Like he was talking about, going to the schools. And that was so smart. It's, students definitely want to build their portfolio. Getting them, it's like a trade. You do this, you can include it in your portfolio, and that will, hopefully help you get a job or a good grade in your class or whatever it might be. So really just networking and, finding people you could depend on really means a lot.
And you know how he was saying that he is kind of OCD-ish and he's a planner. Well, guess what? That's good stuff. You need to plan. Like even with the name of his business, he made a list of all of the names that he was considering. He checked to make sure that they weren't taken already. That's the most important thing. Your name, you build your brand around your name. And then he also wanted to have a name that he could use as he grows. You don't want to limit yourself, you know.
Mm-hmm. And it's, sometimes it's, if you're not a person that is a planner, that can be hard. But it with that plan will allow you to know what you need to do next. If you don't know what you need to do next, then either you're going to procrastinate and do nothing, or you're going to try to do a bunch of things at the same time and really do all of them kind of like so, or
Yeah.
maybe you'll do something first when you really should have done it last and it ends up biting you. Like you definitely want to have a plan. Plans do change, but even just having like an outline of kind of what you need to do is really, really key. And then once you come up with that plan and you're kind of up and running, you really need to have your processes in place. And we had an episode on that too with Val Geisler, which we'll link to in the show notes, because I never remember the number to the episodes because we're just really speaking off the cuff here. Talk about planning.
It's 26. It's 26.
Thank you. See, that's why I need you. Okay, folks, allergies. Can I blame it on my allergies? I've got a foggy brain. I'm still in Hawaii, okay? But yeah, so episode 26, which is what I was going to say, is all about getting organized, how spreadsheets work, docs, and processes can take your business to the next level. So all these things are really key, and it'll definitely help you, achieve what you need to achieve.
Yeah. And so just an example of screwing up your business name. So about maybe 4 years ago, I was doing real estate. And so I decided that I wanted I was doing real estate and home redesign and, interior design. So I decided that I wanted my name to be Rouse Home Staging and Realty. So that is the business name that I chose. Now that I think about it, that was so idiotic. Like, if I wanted to grow, I'm boxing myself in, with that specific name. So then I changed it to Rouse Home Staging and Redesign. Well, after I wasn't doing the real estate anymore. Well, you know what? That's still boxing me in. So now I've changed my name twice already. Well, changed my business name. My business is me. I am my brand. So it's Estrell Riles. So I can do anything under that. Mm-hmm. Anything. I can sell tacos. Mm-hmm. I can make pillows.
But no, I mean, that's true. And that's like even, I have an example of pivoting. So even my business right now, Creative Route, remember when I started out, I was doing graphic design work like logos and other static graphics like brochures and stuff. Then I went into web design, and then I was like, you know what? I really want to make a product, and I don't want to, do freelance anymore. And so now I sell products, but I sell it under the same name because with that name, I could do anything, right? Mm-hmm. So, it was funny. I was talking to somebody today and they're like, oh, you sell stuff now. What's your website? And I was like, creativeroute.com. And they're like, it's the same. I was like, yep. So if you knew me 10 years ago, you still will be able to connect with me. So no, I think that's really, really key. It's all about the name. So it's like, don't completely obsess over it, but do your due diligence to do the research and make sure that you get it right.
Yeah, because by me changing my name so much, I'm sure I lost clients. I just lost business because you can't find me if you don't know my name.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Absolutely. So, but hey, you live and you learn.
You do. I can't wait. I almost want to reach back out to them. And, or maybe Harneet or Chris, I know you're listening right now. After you do your event, which is going to be bananas, please leave us a voicemail on the website and tell us like how well you did, and we could play it on one of our future episodes.
Oh, yeah.
And for those of you guys who are new to Can I Park Here podcast, if you go to startafashiontruck.com and you go to either the main podcast page or the contact page, and we'll have a link in the show notes, you can leave us a voicemail, which we could play over the air, which is pretty cool.
So we hope you enjoyed this episode. If you want to check out the show notes, go to startafashiontruck.com/podcasts. You can also find us on social media, on Twitter, Instagram. We are FFT_official_. And on Facebook, we are Find a Fashion Truck.
Yes. And then, did you already mention the Facebook group?
I did not.
Okay. And one of I think the most popular thing we have is the Let's Talk About Fashion Truck private Facebook group. It is a ridiculously active Facebook group. And, and we hear that from other people, that most Facebook groups are pretty quiet. Our group, not so much, which we absolutely love. So definitely get in there, do a search. Even, once you get in there, introduce yourself and any topics you're thinking about asking about, do a search first because it's probably already been covered. So you could like read through old posts. And then if you have any questions, then post something. And then people will dig in and tell you how like maybe they install pipes on the, in the interior of the truck, or how they got vinyl off of like, the exterior, whatever it might be. There's all kind of good stuff in there. And we have like over 1,100 people now. So it's pretty cool.
Before you go to iTunes, leave us a review, 5 stars.
Yes, please. And please give us any feedback at hello@findafashiontruck.com. All right. Take care and have a beautiful day.
Oh, and go to GoFundMe and give me money.
And that. Bye.
Thanks for parking here.